Welcome to a reading. Let's see what's going on, what it is you need to know for your highest good. When you click on this video finds you. I've already prayed. I'm just going to shuffle 2-3 more times and I'll get a spread. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a feeling that someone feels like they got pushed off the throne. In other words, someone that seems tied to you or was tied to you is experiencing an ego death. You could be picking this up as like it could be bleeding into your field. You could at the moment be feeling like someone or something is wishing like misfortune onto you. So if you've had a period where you've been feeling very good, you've been feeling good about yourself, and as of recent had to interact with this person or just picked up on a bleed through into your field, this is the reason why it's like, you know, that saying or even that imagery of when you put a rotten fruit next to a healthy fruit, the healthy fruit starts rotting way faster. So it's not that misfortune is being cast onto you or that you need to expect misfortune. It's that's what they are feeling, or their imprint, the energetic imprint, or the somewhat of the life path, what the choices that I've made, where they have brought them to, is bleeding into your field. So in other words, you're just picking up on it, but it can feel like a heaviness and even like sort of like a dooming, like a dark cloud. But I'm getting it will pass again, especially if you seal off your fields, so that there's no way this person, what they are now experiencing, what they're going through, can bleed into your field. Because for them, it's definitely a sort of reckoning. They're going to, this is someone that has always recognized your light. Recognize can mean also on a soul level. Like, I've been getting so many references to that Sinners movie. I don't know if it's because I just watched it in the cinemas, but or in other words, the Sinners movie is helping me explain the energies I'm picking up on, because the imagery there is amazing for what some of you are going through, like it also when it comes to paranormal stuff. So just like in the Sinners movie, the musician who has gifts and can sort of move between the veils through this gift, it attracts darker entities or dark entities either attached or within a person. So I'm just talking about this because I see whoever here is experiencing this ego death was very attracted to your light, but they were attracted to it in a way that they wanted to control it. They wanted to possess it even. So if, God forbid, you get into a relationship with this type of person, or even start engaging with them on a daily or over a longer period of time, your energies get enmeshed with each other. So for you, this then can feel like what you're feeling now, but maybe because there was a period that you weren't in contact with this person, or you weren't, like your field got recalibrated to your own essence, you're gonna feel the gap much stronger as when you're daily involved with them. This is another phenomena when, people are in abusive relationships. They don't really recognize how bad it is until they get out, because you get used to it. And in this case, the abuse is having someone trying to control you and possess you for everything that makes you you. Feeding off of you, feeding off your light, which a great addition to this would be the Patreon reading I just posted, the Taurus one. The title is How to Catch a Leech Before They Get the Hooks In. That's just additional if you want an extension to this, or you want to dive a bit deeper into the knowledge or into the mechanisms or in the ways that your awareness can protect you in these cases. So anyways, back to the spread, I'm just seeing, it looks like the ego death could be them realizing that they do not have control over you anymore. In however shape or form you made that clear, whatever you did to cut the tether or the bond, because at one point you had invited this person in, which again is a great reference for the Sinners movie, because entities, beings, whatever low frequency, they cannot attach themselves unless you invite them in. And of course, we can argue you will not always consciously invite them in. For example, when you're drinking, or you're smoking up, blazing up, or you're consuming, like you're taking in substances, that can be the invitation in itself, which you're not consciously saying, oh, in entities, I invite you in to freaking hijack my vessel. You do this unconsciously at times as well. But this is why you can learn about these things so that you can protect yourself. So back to the storyline that is showing up, you may be feeling a sense of like sudden dark cloud or sense of doom. It's because someone seems to have been pushed off the throne. They're realizing, they're acknowledging that they have lost control over you, and your light is shining brighter than ever, and it really seems to be triggering this person's demons or the entities that are attached to them and that are working through them. So you just need to know it's not your life that is going down in shambles, even though the bleed through can make you feel like that is what's happening. You're just still, you're picking up on the aftermath of whatever spell has been broken, because this could be a very charming person, or when you first met them, they could have been very charming. And when the spell has broken off, you won't see them as such anymore. Like other people may, glamour magic, other people may still, but you can see a person for what it is, especially with someone that can also see past a person's illusions and magic and glamour magic. You will see the true nature, you will see the entity for what it is. And this is a spiritual ability that maybe for some of you are coming online or have always been online, where you will be the one then who can just sniff out or smell out something is off about this person. Others will not see it. Until then, maybe time has passed, even years, and then the truth comes to light. But this is where you will be just ahead of time. And this is also where it's important that you learn to I don't want to say keep quiet, but like there's no point trying to get someone on your side or, you know, argue your case. You just got to let it play out, even if you're years before it actually does. You can just use the information, and you can, you know, you don't have to engage with these people, and you can see the true, you know, some of these entities fucking look like superstars, like the most beautiful beings on the outside, the shell that you could come across. But then when you see the true nature, the true face, you could, like, I've had, oh my god, I don't even want to tell you, I've had, yeah, like, actually, like, looked from horror, like out of a horror movie. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So then you just know, okay, I just saw the truth. I just got you fully unmasked. But the thing is, with these, it can, for very tuned in, tapped in people who have very strong spiritual abilities, they can also get caught up in someone's, I mean, of course you learn and your abilities get stronger and you catch it. You'll catch it more easily, but also when you're learning, you will also go through trial and errors, and you will also, you know, hit and fall flat on your face and even get blindsided. But you can always course correct, and that's what I'm kind of getting here, that you may have course corrected with a person who had a lot of control, who had a lot of influence over your life. You course corrected, and now they're feeling that they lost the thread, like they can't play puppet master anymore, because you see them for who they truly are, and whatever magic, whatever glamour spells, whatever charm they used to work on you is not working anymore. And that can be extremely infuriating and frustrating for a person who was feeding off of you, was feeding off of you being latched onto them. That's like the worst case, is that they're not even feeding off of you anymore. They have been able to manipulate you in a way that you are willingly, you know, just fucking attached to them. So they have supply for as long as you're just like basically offering yourself, you're sacrificing yourself. This is why in a narc empath dynamic, they speak of supply. A supply, you become a supply that they feed off of until you know, you're just hanging by a thread. You have like what you've got left to supply yourself, but the rest, this is a form of sacrifice. You become a sacrificial lamb. Your life might go into shambles, and here this is where the wheels are turning, because with the star you may have really dug yourself out of some really tricky situations, relationships. You started seeing things for what they truly are, not for the spells. Like, this is where we also talk about black magic. Some do not recognize they've been put under spell until, you know, it's, I don't want to say too late, but just till it hits, or till it crashes, or you hit rock bottom. Which is why I also offer the services that I do, like the quantum clearing, for example. It's just to keep your field clear, that you can catch these things before they root. Because if you're not aware and you don't even know how your own, like you're congested and there's so much ties and attachments and tethers in your field, you just won't really know what's going on until it's been cleared away and you can feel your true essence and your true frequency, and what your light feels like when it only belongs to you and not to everyone that just wants to feed off of it. Because then you're like carrying this is where we talk about parasites. It's the same that happens within a body. when you're carrying parasites, you have literal living beings feeding off of your supply, like out of your life force. So the same, that's why we talk about there's parasites in the body, like that you can, and there's the same in the spiritual realm. So yeah, whoever you cut or whoever you were able, a lot of the times it's just seeing, I see you for who you are, because that's what your spiritual abilities will be there for. You will see people, beings, situations. That's what we're doing here as well, that you see a situation, you see a person, you see them for what they are. Not you then thinking, oh, I'm picking up on something and I'm full on paranoid, when actually you're just, your alarm bells are dinging and ringing. So, and then of course people telling you that, oh, you're being crazy or you're being this, because they feed off of the same system. They don't want you to be aware. They don't want you calling them out. They don't want you to call out what is going on. You're seeing through the BS. That's why it's also a game of like oppression. We saw that as well with everyone, with the countries that got colonized. They had amazing spiritual gifts, just ran through bloodlines. That's the first thing they had to attack, is so that they could keep oppressing. Anywho, it's just a little side note that anything that gives you power is the first thing that they're gonna attack. And people do it with you being crazy, calling you names, shifting the narrative, like fucking rewriting stories so that they are the ones that sit there, unscathed, the victim. It's a whole game plan that you just start seeing through it. Once you start seeing through it, you'll see it's a pattern, because everyone uses the same script. And this specific reading is for someone who's breaking, like this may have been a script as well, running through lifetimes, until you get powerful enough and start trusting enough into your own capabilities, into your own spiritual abilities as well, that you do not let yourself be dominated, oppressed by someone who's literally 20, 50, 60 times weaker than you. So yeah, I'm just really getting the glamour spells have worn off, whatever breadcrumbs that that's another thing, these systems, they try to keep you to that you have low self-esteem, you don't believe in yourself, you feel like you don't have anyone looking out for you, that you hear that they try to keep you down, because that's how they can keep you at a supply, that's how they can keep feeding off of you. If you start seeing the truth, if you see through the illusions, if you see what is truly going on, and you rise, they've seen it all the time. You've probably heard that a million times, that people see what you're capable of. They just hope that you don't see it. And when you do start seeing it, you become a threat. And that's when the slandering and the fucking backlash and the interference, they up the game, because once you break out of a system they were able to feed off of, they're left to scramble. It's the same with parasites within your body. Once they die off, you get die-off symptoms. That's what could be happening right now. You're feeling like impending doom, or things aren't going well, when actually you're just picking off on the parasites dying off within your field. So that's why I'm saying it's gonna pass. It's a testimony that you are rising, and that you're actually rising in your power, and you're actually recognizing the truth. You're starting to see yourself without the distortions of other people, because if they have the hooks within you, they can interfere, they can hijack, they can interfere your mind, how you view yourself, how you talk to yourself. once that is cleared away, suddenly, there's free space and your true voice and your true nature can take over. So, yeah, someone is, I guess this could have been the main culprit, or someone that really had a lot of control over you, who really was meddling and causing a lot of distortions. They have gotten pushed off and they're now left to deal with their own, what they called into their life. But a lot of the times that doesn't happen until you pull away the plug, until you're not the supply anymore, because as long as you're the supply, they still have a form of protection, they still have a form of, they're still getting, their fix. So this is where, this is why I offer the sessions that I do. It's not for nothing. It's to really help with exactly these type of scenarios as well. And a lot of the times you don't even know what you're involved in until you, rise over or above what you're being used for and what has been latching onto you and what has been interfering, what has been clogging your drains. I call them like your drains get clogged. So it's a part of, I guess, spiritual warfare, psychological warfare, but the system, like the games, the narrative is the same, it stays the same. It's just you get stronger, you get more aware, you become more intelligent, you just know how to weaponize yourself, like weapon yourself and use your gifts for exactly what they're there for, and understand why so many have always had interests in suppressing them and dumbing you down, keeping you small. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. But whoever you pushed off the throne is really going through it, and it looks like they're left to really now face how small and weak and what a coward they actually are. And that, of course, is not comfortable for someone who built their whole life on ego and pride and, buffing themselves up, thinking they're fucking hot shit because they oppress people and dominate over them and make them feel small so they can feel better. So seeing you rise above the games they try playing with you is definitely rubbing them. Not only them, whatever entities they have attached, whatever network they are part of is going into a frenzy. But for you, that means liberation, it means freedom, it means you are free to be who you were always meant to be. You're free to be yourself, you're free to build the life on your terms, what you want it to be, without any tethers and ties. And again, I'm just going to say, if you need assistance, that's literally what I'm here for. You can book in for one-on-one. You will feel if you're called to do so, and we can just go through the levels. It will change your life, and not to toot my own horn, but I know it will. So that's always there, that's always an option, and I will see you very soon.